Now, let's go to chapter 18, 1 Samuel, verse 5. Now, listen carefully, okay? Whatever Saul sent him to do, David did it so successfully that Saul gave him a high rank in the army, promote him again and again. This pleased all the people and Saul's officials as well. And when the men were returning home after David had killed the Philistine, that is Goliath, the women came out from all the towns of Israel to meet King Saul with singing and dancing, with joyful songs and with tambourines and lutes. As they danced, they sang, "Saul has slain his thousands, and David his tens of thousands." Now, it's happy singing, something worth celebrating, you know. But what happened is, verse 8, Saul was very angry. This refrain galled him. They have credited David with tens of thousands, he thought, but with me, only thousands. What more can he get but the kingdom? And from that time on, Saul kept a jealous eye on David. Now, you can see from here, now, when King Saul, wherever King Saul sent David to do, he did it so well and successfully that the king gave him credit and promote him, giving him a high rank. And not only that, it pleases. When the king does that, it pleases the people and the officials. Now, only Saul has the wrong spirit and he succumbed to jealousy. But everyone else has great approval of David's promotion. So what does that tell us? Listen carefully, okay? What does it tell us? It tells us a few things. First, David became the best in wherever God has put him or tasked him. Okay? It seemed that he's being tasked by Saul to do it. But now I'm going to say, no, God is the one who raised him to this position. And the key word here is wherever. Wherever. What does that tell us? Meaning David has consistent success. Now, people, this is what captured me. Consistent success. Not a one-off success. Now, many people experience one-off success. They did very well for a particular exam, but not after that. And some people, they did very well. They won a competition or a field competition. They were very proud of it. But later on, they deteriorated. They saw no medals after that. And all. They were not consistent. So some people were very good in studies, but when they enter the workforce, they don't know how to deal with people, and they get into all kinds of interpersonal problems, people and all. So not consistent. They don't have consistent success. Now, we could do something, but why couldn't we do well consistently? And when we couldn't do something well consistently, we must ponder why. Success and achievement in God is not by luck. Some people always say, "Oh, this fella, good luck this term. Score so well for maths test. Do so well for this exam or whatever. Luck. No, don't believe it's luck. Okay." Listen, success and achievement in God is not about luck. Luck, the word luck is very closely related to Lucifer. Very close. It's not about luck, okay? There is a spiritual reason to everything that happens. So coming back, when we think about consistency, we start to ponder why David could do everything so well and consistently. He won every battle. He manages his battalion well. If Saul puts him in charge of, say, the logistics, well, he managed well. If Saul puts him in charge of the manpower, if you're in army, all these things, Now, David did it well. If Saul puts him in the front line battle to fight the Philistines, he fought well and victoriously. So every time we read the story of David, we're so proud of him, we want to be like him, so we study the reason why. Why? So the typical person who read the Bible would say, why does he have consistent success? Because he puts in consistent hard work. Am I right? This is what the typical people would say. And it sounds right. It sounds right. Because when some people, when they study the story of David, they say, oh, David was a shepherd boy, He fought lions and bears. He has practiced his wherever sling throw so well, so consistent hard work. He puts in hard work since young. So the parents read this story will tell, children, you must be like David. Put in consistent hard work in your exams and study well. And all, when you say that, listen, you are only partly right. There was consistent hard work, but not hard work per se. What is the reason? Listen up. There is a consistent dependency on God, people, in the midst of hard work. Now, I am not saying you don't need to work hard for your exams, for your competition, whatever you are doing, or your work project. No. What I'm saying is, the key is consistent dependency on God. Now, that is the key thing that we have missed all the while. Now, I give you an example. This afternoon, my boy told his mom and said, Mom, I have a friend who got full marks for his math exams. You know why? Because he does a lot of practice on revision books. So he was telling that. So for a while, I thought, oh yeah. Even his mom thought, yeah, it makes sense. Because why? Since young, we have been inculcated with this belief. You need to practice for maths, right? We always say that, You need to practice. So do revision book. The more you do, the better you get, the more familiar you'll be. Now, I thought so until I read this verse and I started thinking through what David had went through. So I got another revelation. I didn't see him attribute his success to consistent work. He attributed it to consistent dependency on God. That's why in Psalm 16:8, what did he say? He said, I have set the Lord always before me because he is at my right hand. I will not be shaken. Right? I have set the Lord always before me. Whatever I'm doing, okay? Fighting the lions, the bears, the Philistines, wherever, managing logistics, manpower, I've always set the Lord before me. And he is at my right hand, my strength. And I will not be shaken. Then I recall how David fought Goliath. Do you remember how David fought Goliath? Remember, Goliath was a trained soldier since young. And this Philistine was like 3 meters tall. And that's why when King Saul has always looked upon man's effort. He is a king who trusted in man's condition and strength. That's why when he saw Goliath, he was very afraid. Remember when he looked at David, David, you want to fight him? He was a trained fighting man since youth. How can you fight him, right? And all. So, what did David say? And David, what did David say? No. Chapter 17. Now look at how David fought Goliath. Now this is the key now to your achievements, to doing the best. Now, and over here, chapter 17, verse 33. Saul replied, you are not able to go out against this Philistine and fight him. You are only a boy, and he has been a fighting man from his youth. But David said to Saul, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. And this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, because he has defiled the armies of the living God. Now over here it seems that David was talking about his experience as a shepherd, fighting lion and bears, on his consistent training and experience. But that was because he was trying to convince King Saul first. Because King Saul was so focused on his skill sets. What skill sets you have, This fella fought He's been fighting since young, what skill sets you have. But if you read on, you will see what David says after that. The Lord, verse 37, the key is here. The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will deliver me from the hand of this Philistine. Right? And Saul said to David, go, and the Lord be with you. You see, people? You see what did David say? Now, after he has talked about his experience, training and all, but it is the Lord who delivered me. Now, he was trying to bring across this truth. It is my consistency, dependency on God, day in and day out. Fighting lions, fighting bears, wherever. Taking care of flocks, wherever. So people, it's not so much about how much revision books you have done. It's really about how much you dependent on God each time you do your revision. You understand what I'm trying to say here? You understand what I'm trying to say here? It's not about how much revision books you've done. Now, he's done many things, This fella, he has been training since young, wherever. You also train. You also revise. But the thing is, while you are revising, who do you depend on? Do you depend on your self-will, your intelligence, the odds, you look at the odds and you try to analyze? No. Each time you practice, each time you revise, each time you do a project or you serve, or if you're a doctor, you take care of patients, each time you do it, you depend on God. Each time you practice your piano, your violin, you play your softball. I know that play your softball. And some of you play your football or your netball, wherever. Don't just open your eyes to learn. Now, other than these eyes, you have a spiritual eyes. Open your spiritual eyes to see, Lord, what are you teaching me? How are you correcting me? Maybe the way I play is not right. Maybe the way I study, I didn't spot my mistake. The Lord taught you very meticulously. There are certain things, if you look to the Lord and revere Him, He will reveal to you. Alright? But if you just look to man, if you just look to human condition, you lose heart. Because you find yourself not being able to live up to the mark. You get what I'm trying to say? Very important teaching here. I know a lot of kids go for tuition, Don't depend on your tuition teacher. Now, when you go for tuition, open your spiritual ears to hear what the Lord is teaching you through this tuition teacher, and you will learn much more. Now, this is the spiritual aspect that you always missed, and we always miss that. You get what I mean? No. I'm showing you this, okay? Remember, don't lose this, okay? This is the most important part of this message, okay? A lot of times I say we are just fulfilling responsibilities that's being delegated to us. We are not learning how to depend on God in our spirit. That's why we're not enjoying the anointing of the Spirit. Why did the Spirit anoint David, but not me? You see, a lot of things we're just looking at getting things done, or certain responsibilities fulfilled, how to answer to my teacher, to my parents, but we are not enlightened and empowered in our spirit. Now, no genuine dependency on God in our spirit. That's why we don't see consistent success.